My name is the Crazy Kirby Kid, and I'm here to talk to you about crews. The thing about crews is, you get 4 people on the left, 4 people on the right, and they're supposed to see who is the best amongst them. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's say 1 battles 5 in a 1v1. Oh no, 1 loses. And then 5 battles 2 with whatever stock he has left. 5 loses. And then 2 battles 6, 2 wins. 2 battles 7, 2 wins again. 2 battles 8, and their whole crew wins. By the way, 2 is Mewtwo King. But the funny part about this setup is 3 and 4 never got to participate. What's the point of having a crew battle if half your crew never even plays the game? The problem is crew battles have always been 1v1 matches, where each one person fights the other person. But this setup doesn't take into account all the different kinds of skills you can develop in Smash Brothers, like 1v1, 2v2, 2v1 when your teammate is dead, skill with items, skills with stages, and characters. Multiple characters, of course. So let's take my skills, for example. I'm decent at 1v1, pretty good at teams. I got a special technique for 2v1 battles. I got a particular flair for items. I'm good on only a few stages, and I only play a couple of characters. So, my skill base looks kinda like this. So what we need is a crew battle system that takes advantage and reflects and brings to the front all the different kinds of skills a person can have. That system is SmashBOARD, an idea that's been 2 years in the making. And SmashBOARD is kind of like Advance Wars, or like Fire Emblem, where you have a certain amount of spaces or squares to move around. But if you think about it that way, SmashBOARD is also kind of like chess. But instead of playing with these pieces, you play with these pieces. Let's take a look at how some basic battles work out using SmashBOARD. Look here, we have a Marth versus Luigi in a 1v1 match. And here we have a Meta Knight versus Yoshi in another 1v1 match. See how a 1v1 match they have to be 1 square away from each other with nobody else around? But now, Marth and Meta Knight are in a team match against Yoshi and Luigi, green versus blue, because they're in a 4 square configuration. This configuration and this one too are also team matches. Notice how they're always in a 4 square. Take away Yoshi, and right here we have a 2v1 match. Meta Knight and Marth versus Luigi. This is also a 2v1 match. And this is a 3v1 match, where one of the blue characters has to sit out while the other 3 fight Luigi. So don't ever get surrounded like this. It's not a good idea. But it rarely happens, so don't worry. So when you're playing SmashBOARD, it's your crew, represented by these little squares, versus somebody else's crew, represented by their squares. You start off on opposite ends of the board. And then they take turns moving, and then it's your turn, and you move, and then they move, and then you move, and then they move, and somehow you get into these different matchups, and it all falls out from there. Every time you match up with somebody, you have a limited amount of stock, like 5, and a limited amount of time to take off as many stock as you can. And when the time runs out, you tally it all up and subtract from your total. But another reason why SmashBOARD is so cool is because the tier list, seen here, reflects how many squares you can move in one turn. So Meta Knight being the best can move 1, DDD 2, Kirby 3, Pit 4, so on and so forth. Good old Captain Falcon moving 7 squares per turn. That's the whole board. It's because he's so low tier. But if you ever want to change your character in order to move more spaces, you can only do so on your turn and before you move. Like Meta Knight just changed into Sonic. 6 squares later, he's at the end of the board. Piece of cake. Alright, let's look at something else real quick. In SmashBOARD, beyond having the different configurations determine your matches, and having each character have different movement ranges, there are additional bonuses to kind of change up all the different kinds of matches you can have between two crews. One of those elements are level elements, and by level elements I mean little squares that show you what stage you can play on. Look, it's Battlefield, Pokemon Stadium 1, and Yoshi's Island. Now when these squares are placed on the board and a match is called with one of the characters standing on these pieces, they must play on that stage. For example, Luigi and Link have to play on Pokemon Stadium 1 now because Link is standing on top of the Pokemon Stadium 1 square, just like that. Beyond level elements, we have other items that your crew can pick up and use on their turn, like items. Check it out. This square represents an item. This square represents a counterpick stage that you can use on your turn. Each square represents something different, and you can mix and match them to your liking. And that's what SmashBOARD is all about. Now, SmashBOARD is a crew battle that reflects all the different kinds of skills that each player can bring to the table, including 1v1, 2v2 matches, 2v1 matches, items, stages, and characters. We're good. Another way to change things up between different battles, different whole rounds between crews, is by changing the board shape. For example, this one's a small map with Fox only, no items, Final Destination. And this one is a long, narrow map called Narrows. And this map is a crazy shape, ignore that. The point is, this system is very flexible, and you can play however you want and adjust it to your liking, depending on what regional philosophies your crew currently follows. Thanks for watching, everybody, on my video presentation of SmashBOARD. I hope you get a chance to play it on your own. And remember, Crazy Kirby Kid created this, and if it's weird, it probably came from Texas.